now rocking with the best. Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie, you're listening to the fighter's voice.
I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. Thank you to those true ones who stuck around. I'm a man of my word. Mello's a man of his word. But you know who's really a man of their word? That's our sponsor today. I want to thank our sponsor, Fresno County Public Safety Association. They make it happen, man, in Fresno, California. And I'll remind you of an event that's taking place tomorrow in the Tower District. It's the official press conference for the No Town Throwdown 5 featuring Brian Batman Williams and Adam El Gato Gordo Zamudio. They're going to be in the main event. But before that happens, we're going to have the official press conference. Doors open at 5 o'clock. It starts at 6 at Lucy's Lounge on the Tower District in Fresno, California. Promoting the event that takes place May 14th, 2022. Also in the house is going to be Top Rank's own, Tulari's own Richard Torres Jr., undefeated heavyweight Olympian, and yours truly is going to be your ring announcer. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's tomorrow. The official press conference takes place at Lucy's Lounge, promoting the event that takes place May 14th at the Tower District, the No Town Throwdown 5. Now, enough with all that. I want to get down to the nitty-gritty, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce hip-hop legend, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mellow Man Ace. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that beautiful intro.
Man, no problem, man. I got a friend named Santos Sosa, Boricua, man. You guys, I mean, you guys just move around. Kind of got that same swag, man. And Santos was watching the show too. When you came on and you say, "Hey, homeboy, I'm all right," man, he sounded just like him. So I got to give a shout out to Santos Sosa, man. But he's a big fan.
Shout out to Santos, no doubt.
Yeah, he's a big fan of yours, man. And also, I was talking to Woody Pena today from Fresno, California. He said, you know, Mellow Man's he meets people all over the world. He said, I met him in 1991. The Baker Boys, you guys were recording a track in Venice Beach area. Does that sound, you know, taking it way back? I mean, that's taking that.
I believe the track was called Boulevard Nights.
There you go. That's possibly it. I remember you coming to Fresno, right across from Roosevelt High School, at Fresno Sound Connection, where Timmy T was there. That's the first time I met you. That was over a decade ago.
Wow.
I was with my friend Bill Coddington, man, and I went looking for that picture today. If I'd have had that picture, it would have just stole the show, man. That picture's over 20 years old, man.
Wow. I don't know what to say to that, man, other than I've been doing this a long time, man.
Yeah, and, you have.
I've met a lot of people, seen a lot of cities, a lot of countries, and it's just, you know, life has been one big concert. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. And every day is your official after party. And it looks like you reinvented yourself, man. I mean, you're now into sales. You're now a CEO of your own wine. I mean, there's so much stuff I want to jump into. We'll talk about the original hip hop, but I want to move around. I want to talk about the business part of Mellow Man Ace, the part that nobody knows, where your serenity is on the golf course. Where you share the golf course with the golden boy himself, Oscar De La Hoya. I'm pulling up a picture right now. Where did Mellow Man Ace decide, when did Mellow Man Ace decide to pick up the golf club and say, you know what, this is my serenity?
Well, I've been playing for 30 years, 31 years. Kid Frost was the first one to put me on to playing golf after our first tour on the Stevie B tour. And, you know, I picked it up, put it down, but ever since 2015, I've been, religiously playing And when the pandemic hit in 2020, I was really out there like 3 times a week just to keep my mind right amongst everything that was happening around us in society, on TV, and all the craziness that came about from that. And so now that things are opened up, you know, somewhat, a lot more, I'm back to 1 day a week, and that's Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, I have a good time out there, man. I play with Emilio Rivera and sometimes with Oscar De La Hoya, or sometimes with George Lopez and Coolio and Drez of Black Sheep and Arabian Prince. It's been like so many good brothers that play golf, and then we just get out there and network. And sometimes we pitch ideas to each other, you know? And you know how they say that big moves are made on the golf course, and sometimes and that's very true.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. With the exception of going to Blackbeard's and playing miniature golf, I've never played in my life. I've been told, Richard, you need to pick up these the golf clubs and make some business deals out there. You're real talkative. You like to do this and that. It's Richard, go learn. So I'm actually going to learn this summer. My buddy Mark Davis, he doesn't know it, but he's going to show me. He's out there playing all the time, but I need to pick up the game, man. And it seems to be a popular game, and there's some business deals done out on the golf course, I hear.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I've made a substantial amount of money on the golf course the last 2-3 years. Not to mention, I've met a lot of great dudes at tournaments, and I've been able to nurture these relationships and do other business ventures and things like that because of it. And I recommend it. I mean, especially if you have a business that you're in that is high levels of stress, you know, I suggest you pick up something. It doesn't have to be golf, but do something that can bring some joy and some relaxation to yourself. I think that's very important. And now, more so for me, I just turned 55 years old, so
still a young man.
I need that. You know, I need that.
How did your workout go the other day when you were out there jogging? You said, I'm going to lose this quarantine 15.
That was easy. I mean, I took a break from the treadmill that I have here at home.
Yeah. And
just to go see something different, you know, because it could get monotonous just standing on the treadmill for 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. I don't try to break any records on the treadmill.
I heard that.
Just try to keep up my own little pace of things that I do, and just keep my cardio up, so that when I get on stage, I don't get winded or whatever. But the other day, I mean, yeah, going out for a jog, that was pleasant. It was good. You know, it was good for the soul.
And I want to share something with you. Every day that I get off work, I usually hit the gym, especially before the podcast. I hit it real fast and then come take a shower and get ready. And I said, you know what? No, we got Mello on the show. I want to make sure I have everything laid out, everything, you know, he deserves my best. And I said, look, because it's raining over here. And I said, it doesn't matter how cold it is afterwards, man. I mean, we're going to the gym right afterwards, after the show. Right when the show's over, we're going. Because if not, I'm going to get stagnant. It's not going to happen. And I usually go on there before the show, and I never write any questions down. It's just the ideas they just pop up as you're going. Sometimes I'll be on there, have music on, and not even press play. I mean, just so I can think and clear my mind. But it's my serenity sometimes. It takes me away. But so after this interview, man, I'm gonna change up and I'm gonna go hit the gym.
Good deal. That's right.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it.
You need that. You need that me time. You know. And the physical fitness is just as important as the mental fitness. You know, I think for us now, getting a little older, wiser,
yeah,
and, you know, having to change our diets per our doctor's orders and all these other things, you know, it's just something that you got to do. You know what I mean? Like when we were young in high school, they taught us this. They taught us physical fitness and exercising that one class a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because not only did we need to learn how to read and write and do mathematics and English and these things, we needed to stay active. And I think thanks to hip hop and music, I've been able to stay active in my life, you know?
Well, you put on a good show, man. You don't just grab the mic. You dance, you perform, you do everything. I mean, you get down. I remember I was trying to pull up I have it on the VHS tape, bro. I recorded you when you came on the first Paul Rodriguez, when Paul Rodriguez had his first show. I have that one.
Yeah.
And my mom said, look, it's half English, half Spanish. And then when you came on Arsenio Hall, then Soul Train, and you made some appearances here and there. But I remember when Paul Rodriguez first had a show. And you had DJ Julio G.
That's right. Yeah.
How is that relationship now with all these cats that have come in and out of your life? I mean, they went on to do different things. It may not be music, or maybe just maybe production from writing music. And, you know, is everybody doing well is what I'm asking, without getting too personal. Excuse me.
Yeah. I think for the most part, everybody's doing well. You know, we all had children, and some had grandchildren and been married twice, things like that. But, you know, responsibility kicked in, and at some point we had to stop running the club, you know what I mean? You had to go home and take care of things, man. Because now, like I said, responsibilities kick in, and whether you have a wife at that time, or, you know, as we got a little older into our late 30s, early 40s, you know, it became, for some of us who were lifers for this music thing, it became a more of a business, even more so, you know. When we were young, we thought it would last forever, and we could run amok and not have to worry so much about, oh, am I putting away something for a rainy day?
Yeah.
These type of things. But the older we got, and with each child, I think more responsibilities kicked in. And sometimes, you know, life will kick you around sometimes too. So you might have had a divorce or two, you know what I mean, in your past, but it's how you bounce back from all those things and those adversities that really determine who you are, you know, now looking back at everything at 55.
That's a great age, man. You're young. You're ready to go, man. You know what, Mello? You're just like your wine. You're in your prime. And
Man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I feel like that. You know, I recently started playing percussion and adding congas and bongos to my live stage show. So I'm really excited about coming to Fresno this summer on the Latin Legends Tour and really showing you guys what I've been working on since last year.
I know I saw that little move with the elbow. Boom. I see what you're doing, man. My eyes are on you. I see you moving up.
My man. Yeah, no, it's, you know, I also wanted to show, aside from playing golf, that, you know, it wasn't just that during the COVID years, you know, that I was actually trying to improve myself as an entertainer. You know, it hasn't just been golf and the wine and leisure. You know, I've actually taken the time to perfect myself moving into the future, so that I can stay out here working and entertaining people, which is something that I love to do. So adding the bongos and the congas to my show has made me and helped me to fall back in love with the entertainment part of it, you know, entertaining people and bringing a smile to people's faces when I'm on stage.
One of the questions that was asked of me today to ask you is from Fresno's own Woody Pena. He said, Richard, ask Mello, where is hip-hop going today? As opposed to the new artists were, and this is how he described it, a bunch of gibberish, to real writing, real performing, real love for it. Where is it going today?
You know what? That's a great question that I can't answer. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. For a couple of reasons. One is I'm just not tapped in or interested, and two, I mean, you see how many rappers out here getting shot? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know how to answer that question. So the best thing that I do is I just do me, you know, and continue to live out my life as blissful as I can on a daily basis, man. I don't have the time or energy to spend on anything that's negative, really. You know what I mean? Like, I should have, I should be here at this stage in my life, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? To where you're tapped out of things that just don't uplift or bring you down. These things, it's bad enough already. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you think about what's going on a global scale. So, how do you simplify yourself? How do you make things easier for yourself? The best way is not to turn the other cheek or ignore things, but just don't pay so much attention to them. And know that I had my chance as a young man to do my thing. I'm proud of the things that I've been able to accomplish, the doors that I've been able to open for our people. That has been very important to me. But for the most part, I just don't worry about it. Let them do them how they do it, and just keep focused on what I got to do. Being with my girlfriend, taking care of my kids, taking care of my dad. You know, these are the things that mean something to me. There's nothing I can do to change where hip hop is going and where these fools are gonna take it. You know, if you ask me, it's a sideshow now. It's a sideshow. It's a clown show. And I'm glad that I'm not from this era.
I heard
You
that,
know what I
brother.
mean?
Preach it.
I'm from an era where music and musicians and artists were respected, treated as such, upheld to a certain standard. I come from that, and that's where I'm from. And when the curtain comes up and it's time to entertain, I'm not just gonna sit up here holding my jock and expect like make you think like I'm really killing shit. I want to entertain you. I want to play something and do something, and that's really what all I can do. I can't. These young cats, they doing it their way. Are they killing the game? Yes, they are. Ultimately, is what I'm seeing is they doing it wrong and they killing the vibe. You can't take these little niggas nowhere.
No, that's real talk, man. I mean, hey, that is real talk from coming from an OG, man. And I do want to say this: every time you take the stage, you're adding to your legacy. It continues to add. So you're in the driver's seat right now, Mello, of where you want to go. I mean, learning new instruments, how you want to be remembered. You progress through the years instead of just like, hey, whatever happened to that dude. I mean, you continue
Yeah,
to
yeah.
reinvent yourself.
Thank you. I'm glad that the real ones really see that about me. Um, that's very important to me. Um, to not stay stagnant or in one place.
Yeah,
And if for you guys to see that is it means the most because we're talking about legacy and being remembered, right?
absolutely.
When I was young, I wanted to be remembered like every day. The older and wiser that I got, I'm starting to notice that I'm not really so concerned with being remembered. Everybody gets forgotten and everybody has to pass away and things wash away and there'll be a new generation of people. Therefore, I'm not concerned with that anymore. And it's a burden off my shoulders to have to feel that way. Um, that I need to do a movie about myself or a documentary about myself to be remembered. I'm not concerned with it anymore. It's like if you remember me, great. If you know what I mean? If you don't, that's fine too. But some days somebody will tell you a story about me and the things that I did, and hopefully you'll be proud of what you hear. You know, because when it comes to Latinos, I did that. I put that on the map, and that should be force
Yep.
enough for you to remember. You know, it's sort of like Roberto Clemente or like a Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier type of thing. For me, that's the way I look at it. Because up until my records came out, there was no Spanish rappers.
Nope.
There was no Latinos up there in the forefront and taking the stage and holding their own and doing that. And now take a look around. Take a look around now and see what I started.
That's
Fat
right.
Joe, Big Pun, the Beatnuts, Cypress Hill, Kid Frost, Lighter Shade of Brown, and the list goes on. Frankie J, Baby Bash, Little Rob, and whoever else you can name. That to me, if you can't remember that about me, then maybe you should have never knew about me.
I heard
My
that.
point is, I'm not concerned with that. I'm not concerned with that. Because one day I'm gonna rot in a casket just like everybody else. And those that remembered you, great. Like, am I worried that in 100 years somebody's gonna say my name? No, I'm not. And I say this humbly, from a humble place. You know what I mean? I say this from a humble place. I'm not worried that if in 100 years your great grandkids don't know who the fuck I am.
That's right.
I'm okay with that.
Hey, but I tell you what, they're still gonna be drinking your wine, and when their old lady, when their old lady cheats on them, they're gonna be playing Mentirosa.
All right, then that's fine enough.
That's what's up right
good
there.
enough for me. That's good enough for me.
No, but you kept it real, brother. As you know, you're the first person the term Spanglish came from you. I've never knew what that was, and I remember my dudes go, "Hey, check out this song, man. It's half English, half Spanish." And we didn't even follow the story. We were just happy that, okay, our language is included in this hit. And then the video came out, and we could all identify with it. We all, in our minds, we all wrote that song one way or another because we all got treated that way one way or another, especially being young as we were and reckless and not putting two and two together. I'll tell you a quick story. We had soccer practice, and my girl says, "Hey, walk me home." Well, hey, at the game, everybody shows up. I said, "No, I can't. I got to go to practice because I want to start the next day." Long story short, somebody else walked her home. It is what it is, man. But hey, so I could identify with that song. We all can. That's a classic. And a lot of questions came in because you get this a lot. You know, what inspired you? You've shared that before. Let me ask you this, and let me put a twist on it. Did you ever think that song, that anthem, would have the impact that it has today when you put it together for your personal use?
No, of course not. I can't sit up here and tell you and lie to you. No, I had no idea. That I'm not a fortune teller, and if I was, I would know the winning numbers for the lotto tonight. And we, you know what I mean?
And we'll spice up the studio.
Once it got on popular radio, we knew that we had something special then. But ultimately, to know that it would have this kind of longevity and the doors that it was able to open, we knew we were making strides there, and we knew we were doing something for our people there in that moment of opening doors and being the first to do this particular type of style, and the things that we're able to develop from that, like our own section of the record store, or like a subgenre within a genre within a genre, if you will. These things were things we saw in real time that were happening. But longevity-wise, I think it was only 15 to 20 years ago that I knew it was going to be like a mainstay, long-living classic, up until that point, it was like anything can happen, But between 15 and 20 years ago, 2000, the year 2000, we knew like I knew like, yo, this record is here to stay, and it made it to like something that I enjoy from other artists, you know, like Lady Cab Driver, for instance, from Prince or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
or Rapper's Delight from Sugar Hill Gang. Um, to me, that's a blessing, and you know, that's like, yo, that's phenomenal, man. It's like every little rapper's dream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have something like that happen to them, you know. So here we are,
Well,
32 years later, and
yeah.
it's like the Energizer Bunny, you know. We just keep on going from show to show to show. But by the same token, I wanted to show growth going into this year. Like every year, toward the end of the year, I start incorporating what I'm gonna do later on to see if it works. And since we've been off for 2+ years, you know, now at the rehearsals that I'm doing now with my congas and my bongos and my chimes and crashes and all these things, I really have a view now of how you're gonna feel when you see me get down.
That's right.
You know?
Well, speaking of that, you're going to get down in our backyard. That's June 17th, Fresno, California, is going down in the Save Mart Center. Ticketmaster is where you can get your tickets. Once again, it looks like Mello's going to be the opening act, but he's going to take over the entire show. That's the impact he's going to drop on you, man. And
yeah, arrive early. I don't know if I'm gonna open up first. That's just the order, which
Sure.
what they make the flyer. I don't have the stage order given to me yet. I think it's still far too soon to know.
That's right.
But if it is me, arrive early. You want to arrive early because I'm gonna kill it. Quite frankly.
That's what's up, man. You know what? I'm gonna make sure I'm there now. I'm gonna make sure I take my producer with me and we go down there. Cause you know, I will go when I have fighters on the show, and if I can make it, I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna go down there. I'll just say, you know what, I'm going down there, and I love to be a man of my word. You know, I'm not just hey, I'll be down there and I never show up. They're gonna respect that, man. I go down there, I get the post-fight interviews, I do what I got to do. But I want to make sure I go down there, catch you. You're probably going to be staying at the Doubletree Hilton, which a lot of times Save Mart Center, the acts, they usually stay there. So I'll probably run into you over there too. But when I do, I'm going to drop a Fighter's Voice official T-shirt to you, man. So after the show, you don't got to say your size on here, whatever. But I'll hit you up with a big, nice shirt, man. And, you know, you can rock it when you're working out.
2X.
Hey, I'll get you just like me then, man. That's right. That's right. I'll make sure I'll get you one.
Good looking out.
There was a part of, absolutely. There was a part, I believe, was on your second song in your first, the Mentirosa album. You said, battle like cattle. He goes, we battle like cattle. I remember that was a line.
Yeah, that was on Rhyme Fighter.
Exactly. And you guys sampled, who was it? It was War, right?
We did War.
Yes.
That was called Galaxy.
Yes, exactly. This is my story. When my kids would always mess with me and say, I go, do you want to battle like cattle? I will battle like cattle. So that stuck in our house. That terminology was in our house. My son would say, Dad, you want to battle like cattle? My daughter would say, you want to battle like cattle? And see, they don't know where I got it from. Now, you know, my daughter's listening. My son's in heaven. He's also listening. Now they know exactly. I would never know that I'd be sharing that with you. Just like, you know, we had Julio G from Fast and the Furious on the show. And there's a part on Fast and Furious, the first one where
Noel G?
Noel G, yes, I'm sorry. Noel G, where he holds the money and he looks at it and goes, that's right. That term, we used it in our house. Whether it was making a sandwich, we look at it and say, that's right. That was the same as Battle Like Cattle off of your lyrics, off of your song.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
That's funny because I did that with my own kids. There were certain hip hop songs that I would raise them with. If they did something, or we were leaving the house, going to the grandma's house or something, I would say shit like, "Ready on the left? Are you ready on the right?" You know, which is a
Yeah.
sample from an old record of in hip hop. You know, and little things like that. So I did the same thing.
It's all good because that says that you enjoyed putting it together. And us, where I use it is I appreciate it and enjoyed it and it stuck with me. So it's still to this day. I mean, I was thinking about that, and when I was in the kitchen, I just kept saying it over and over and over again. I was putting something together, and I just kept saying it over and over again because I knew I was going to share that story with you if it would be allowed to, if ever there was an opportunity to, I would say.
Right on.
But listen, I want to get deep into this right here. A lot of people have asked, how come Sin Dog and Mellow never had their own crew or put a song together? So using that question that was asked of me to ask you, has there ever been a long-awaited song that you just had in you know the on the shelf for a while or in the shoebox, and you might have took bits and pieces off it, or you just saying, you know what, this one's going to be special. This is going to be the year that I release it, or this is going to be the year that I put it together. Is there still some Mellow Man Ace floating around in the shoebox is what I'm asking.
Well, me and my brother got together in 2006, and we made a whole album together. It was called Ghetto Therapy, and we had Snoop Dogg on there, and Warren G, and Be Real, and DJ Muggs did beats, and we had beats from everybody. And we had our first single was called In Traffic, and then the second single was called We OGs, produced by Warren G. And we were still working the project when my brother decided to disband the company, his own record company, over an issue that I shouldn't discuss here. It's personal to him.
Sure.
So we had the project called Ghetto Therapy. You guys can listen to it on YouTube now. You can watch the video from it. We were only able to do one video before this particular situation happened. And that record's called In Traffic. And you can check me and my brother out together. As of right now, I have singles out and videos with MC Magic, a song called Summertime. I got another record out called $1 featuring Money B of Digital Underground. I have another one called No Joke featuring my man Rodney O. And I just finished a new record with my man Dana Dane from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, wow.
And that's called One for the Money, Two for the Time.
That's right. Yeah,
So
I remember that intro.
that'll be coming out late May. Late May, we shoot the video. Actually, early May, June. Early June. Look for it early June. We shoot the video May 24th. And I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to give away the theme. You'll see what it is. I think you're going to like it. If you like, you know, real hip hop and you love the authentic flavor and just a good time on a record, then this is it.
How much of a collaboration did you do? We're looking forward to that. Did you do with ALT?
I've never really worked with Al other than on Lowrider with War and Kid Frost. Al is a magnificent
Writer. Yes.
He's a magnificent writer, but other than that, I mean, we've never just worked on something together alone. It just never happened. It just never happened. I don't know why. I don't know. It just never materialized. But he's an incredible writer, ghost writer, and somebody who's really slept on in hip hop.
I agree. He's one of the best writers to ever pick up a pen and a pad, and his ideas, the way he's able to transition himself, and just different. His chemistry, man. I mean, I mean, yes, a lot of people did sleep on him, but I recognized it. You recognized it, and I mean, some of his lines, tomato, tomato, I'm a desperado, Mexicans win, but this one can't afford the lotto. I mean, that is classic. Classic. So let me ask you this. What turns you on, Mello? What do you listen to when you just want to just chill and just feel real good?
Oh, that's easy. The more I play percussion, the more I just listen to records like from groups like Confunction. Especially my favorite song from them, "Got to Be Enough." I listen to groups like anything from Cameo to Marvin Gaye to Prince, Morris Day and the Time. My goodness, anything Isley Brothers. I try to play along with that stuff now, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I'm trying to keep up the pace on the percussion with those greats. I'm hoping that hopefully the greats land into me and I become a great percussionist, or at least somebody who can entertain you well when you come see me, what I do. But that's the kind of music that I listen to. I really don't listen to the radio or rap tapes and all that whole lyrical miracle miss me right now with that. I just want to hear real musicianship, instrumentation that I can learn something from. Not to disrespect anybody or anything, but if I do go to my Spotify hip hop list, then it's Gangstar, Tribe Called Quest, EPMD, and stuff like that.
What gets you on the dance floor? What makes you just want to start moving on the dance floor?
My favorite record, I think, all time that gets me on the dance floor is Just Chilling Out by Bernard Wright. Chilling Out. Dun, dun. Yo, man, that record is crazy. For those who don't know Bernard Wright, he used to play bass with Tom Brown, Funkin' for Jamaica, all that kind of stuff. Funkin' for Jamaica. Yeah. Well, Bernard Wright is the son of Roberta Flack. A lot of people don't know that. He broke off from Tom Brown and he created his own sound. And it's very similar, but he got his own style. I think he's very slept on, a great musician. And it'd be nice to see him out here doing these concerts and festivals with us, But yeah, that's the get down that gets me on the dance floor.
That's right. Well, your music gets a lot of people on the dance floor. And I was going to ask you, how often does your phone ring? It looks like you're busy. It looks like you're going to be on tour. You're going to be performing with Trenier. I mean Stevie B. I mean, you're just you haven't missed a beat, especially right now. I mean, more people appreciate true music more than you think.
That's crazy you would ask me that. And I'm going to tell you why that is. 5 years ago, my boy Candyman told me, he said, man, if you can hang in there till you 55, the phone's going to be ringing off the hook. I turned 55 last week.
Oh, yeah, late happy birthday. I tagged you on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
And the phone's just been ringing off the hook.
There you go.
I think, people love those records from the 90s. We kicked off the 90s with a lot of hit records on the West Coast. And when I talk to brothers like Candyman or Rodney O and guys like that, we start going through it. Like, we start thinking about Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise, and Tone Loc, Wild Thing, Funky Cold Medina, Young MC, Bust a Move, Kid Frost, La Raza, and the list goes on and on. Candyman, Knocking the Boots, Mellow Man, Mentirosa. We were really making the East Coast very upset with us back then. I mean, we kicked the 90s off crazy. And before your Method Mans and Redmans and, DOS Effects, it was us that really opened that door at radio, you know what I mean? And really kicked the 90s era into full swing. with major records. You know, when you think about Tone Loc's, you know, Wild Thing, that's an incredible record, you know? And he's another one that's still out here doing his thing. And when you think about Coolio, you know, I mean, come on, man. We made New York want to change up their sound. And if you
And they
remember
did.
correctly,
They did.
guys like Puff Daddy had to start sampling everything in sight just to get on.
Yeah.
You know, and there was many, many, many more. I mean, look at Biggie. Biggie sampled from Sting, not Sting, the other guy, David Bowie.
Yeah.
And then you had even guys like Vanilla Ice with the big, another David Bowie sample.
Yeah.
Right? And these guys were on the East Coast watching what we're doing on the West Coast. Because we were the kings of those loops.
Yep.
With the drums added underneath. Myself with the Carlos Santana. Kid Frost with the Malo.
That drum machine.
I mean, you name it. It was happening at that time. And so we made the East Coast have to step their game up because we kind of took the rap game and brought it to the West Coast.
Well, you guys claimed it, made it yours, and you never let go. Even when they had to change up, you guys were still progressing. The train was already going.
Yeah, the train was already going. So it's just been a blessing, man, to be able to be a lifer, really, for this music. Come hell or high water, good time or bad time, smiles or tribulations, through it all, the phone kept ringing and people wanted to see us somewhere, you know, and I think that love from the people and the concert promoters is, you know, monumental when you think about us now in our 50s, in our mid 50s, and we are now like the Confunctions and the Lakesides and the, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the Cameos, how we used to look up to them, kids are now looking up to us like that, you know? And that's a beautiful place to be.
It is. They're going to be sampling some of your lines. They're going to want to do the things you're doing. Earlier you mentioned making a movie of you. Okay, I'm just going to throw it out there. If a producer came to you and said, Mello, we're going to put together your lifestyle, what actor would play you?
I don't know. I don't know any actors. I don't really watch TV like that. I don't know. I really don't know.
Cuban Jr. Maybe a thinner Mello. The cat for Show Me the Money.
I don't know, man. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s
Yeah.
son.
Yeah. Hey, we got a question coming in. Well, it's a comment from Dog Boxer Athletic. Big fan, 100%. Awesome to have him on the show. Mello's a legend. And there's another one that's appearing. It says, we are old school over here. And another one, ain't no half stepping. So these are some of the comments that are coming up when the show was coming on. I mean,
right on, man. Shout out to everybody in the is that a chat room?
Yeah, off the YouTube.
Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I appreciate you tapping in.
You know, I'm listening to your answers, and this stuff is historical. It really is. You couldn't ask anybody today other than that was in your era with your answers, your knowledge, and the respect that comes out of your voice, man. Real talk.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I didn't just post it just to where it sounds good. When I said hip-hop legend, Mellow Man Ace will be on the show, I knew exactly what I was talking about. And the new guys, I asked them, I said, well, Google him, you'll see, or ask your mom and dad. And a lot of them came back and said, oh, yeah, my mom, or oh, yeah, my dad. And even my brothers and sisters, they said, okay, are you sure he's going to be on? Or is he going to sing? I said, look, just tune into the show. Wherever he wants to go, hey, he's going to take us there. But what I do, exactly.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But what I do want to promote is you being in Fresno, man. I mean, because they get their chance to, we're 20 minutes away to see you live and in person. That's Mellow Man Ace, Fresno, California, June 17th. Save Mart Center. Tickets
Save
at
Mart
Ticketmaster.
Center.
Yep. Make sure you're
it's
there,
gonna
man.
go down. The 50th anniversary of war. I've been blessed to be able to record with Lonnie and them boys. You have so many greats on there. When you think about guys like Joe Bataan, one of my favorite records is Call My Name. I mean, to be in a lineup with guys like that, it's not really a stat on a hip hop checkboard list or anything like that.
Yeah.
But as an entertainer, to be in that kind of lineup is just like it makes you feel. And I've done these kind of shows over the years. I remember being on the Zap tour and all that kind of stuff. But that's when I was younger. But in the last 10, 15 years, concert promoters have coupled us together, right?
Yeah.
You might have Lisa, Stevie B, Trenier, Stacy Q, George Lamond, for instance. I'm just throwing names out
George
there.
Lamond, yeah.
And you know, you have these collectives and hip hop and freestyle and oldies and whatnot. And today I was talking to my man Candyman, who reminded me that we were on the very first concert of these kinds of, especially when it comes to freestyle and hip hop, on the Stevie B tour. On the very first Stevie B tour, now you have the king of freestyle, Candyman, Mellow Man, Kid Frost, Taylor Dane. I think No Sarah was on that, and Sanday. And so we were thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, nothing like that was happening until that first Stevie B tour.
Yeah.
And now almost every concert looks like that.
It does. You
know,
got
and
Sweet
so-
Sensation, Cover Girls, Expose. They're still snapping out with some rappers and hip hop.
Let's go. Exactly. But yeah, man, I mean, when you think about Malo and El Chicano and groups like that, you know, come on, man, to be in the same breath with those guys,
Classics.
it lets you know, like, your music has been absorbed. People love who you are, and you've made an impact. All of those things come to mind. So I'm going to take the stage with that type of orgullo, you know what I mean? With that kind of pride. And I'm going to try to give that back to you when I go on stage that night.
Well, you know what I'm thinking about right now is these words, Mello. You belong. Flat out, straight up, simple. You made your space, your era, and it continues to grow. It continues to stay there. It's like a landlord that's renting. You're never getting kicked out. It's yours. You own that, and it continues to progress.
Thank you, man. That means a lot, bro. I've never heard it said like that, but that's really dope, man. And I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, the next 5-10 years. You know, like my man Candyman said, you know, if you get ready for your 55, the phone's gonna ring, and that's exactly what happened. So now I'm happy that I'm ready. You know, I'm ready to play these percussions on stage, and I'm ready to just entertain. And I took the time to embellish myself, you know what I mean, and learn more to add to my craft. I didn't stay stagnant, and I'm proud of myself for that, because for so many years I did. Like, I should have been playing percussion, being that I'm Cuban 35, 40 years ago, you know what I mean? Like so many greats from Cuba, you know, I should have been playing. But like they say, it's never too late.
No.
It's never too late to do something. And I think me playing percussion is a true testament to that saying, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm a host for a boxing MMA program, and a lot of people says, "Well, you're gonna have an actor on there, or you're gonna have a rapper on there." And I love to challenge myself, because the fighter's voice is just not a fighter putting a mouthpiece in. We all have a fight in our life. Every fighter has a voice, whether we're fighting cancer, whether we're fighting for our marriage, fighting to try to stay afloat, or fighting to try to play the percussions. every fighter has a voice, and so does Mellow Man Ace.
Oh, I've had my share of adversity. You know, there was 3 or 4 years in the late '90s that I was addicted to cocaine, and I'm not ashamed to tell you that, because even through it all, I was doing concerts and doing shows and doing shit. But it's made, excuse me, it's helped me to be who I am today, man. You know, in a very weird way. There was a time that I had to be humbled, you know what I mean, and look in the mirror and face my own inner bullshit, you know what I mean, and put as much ego away to the side. Like I was saying earlier, like, I'm not worried if 100 years from now people don't remember me. And in those conversations with myself and looking myself in the eyes, in the mirror, going, nigga, you full of shit. Clean this up. You know, get it right.
Yeah.
I think that's where those conversations took place. And I was able to speak to my own DNA, so I could be less full of shit and more real. You know what I mean? Because when you're forced to shake a drug or take one of your vices out of who you are, it forces you to now do some introspective work. You know, and I quit cold turkey. I didn't go to like a rehab or something like that, a place that helps you. I did a cold turkey. But I say that to say that at the end of the day, we all gonna face something. Like I tell my mom, you know, we all walking around here with something. Nobody is exempt.
Yep, that's right. I say that all the time.
And you're the younger youth, you know, you got a lot of the mental things going on, the mental health issue. If you're older, you might have a heart condition, you might have a lung condition. We all have something.
Yep.
And so that being the case, you know, I'm not ashamed to talk about my old demons, because they've helped me to develop who I am today moving forward. You know what I mean? And so being that we all have something, it's how you come out of it.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's how you
100.
You persevere through it, and how you gain that tenacity that you need, you know, to get to the next year, the next 5 years. You know, we've lost a lot of people, and not with the pandemic, but throughout life. And guys like Nipsey Hussle, great artist. I mean, an amazing kid, and the list goes on and on and on. And at any moment, that could have been me. You know what I mean? Like, I could have died prematurely. I could die tomorrow. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do with the time that you have today is what it all boils down to. And I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but
no,
I think
you're good.
It all
Trust me.
makes perfect sense at the end of the day. And hopefully my story can inspire, and I can continue to inspire those moving forward who might need to hear something like this.
Well, I'll say this, and every so often I will say this, because I'm not ashamed of it. I lost my son 5 years ago, about 5 years ago. To me, it's like yesterday. So I had every reason.
My condolences.
Thank you. I had every
reason. That's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, not at all. I had every reason not to come home. I had every reason to jump off a bridge, stick a pistol to my mouth, and God knows I thought about that. But I decided I was able to find a serenity, and I dedicated my whole career, everything that comes out of my mouth, I dedicated it to my son. So you being on the show is because of my son. Anybody that was on the show is because of my son. I decided to do this and give everybody a voice and opportunity, so life doesn't eat me up, so it doesn't get the better of me. And I was able to find love again and find my peace and my serenity. And after every show, I always end the show with a thumbs up for Richie, was a tribute to my son. A lot of people, when I do say it, they think I'm talking about myself, that I'm being arrogant, calling myself the third person. I never correct them, because when they do find out that, you know, then they know why I do what I do. But I continue to go forward, man. And I will say this, Mello. Everybody that comes on our show, everybody, they're blessed. Their career just takes off. If it's a fighter, if he loses a fight, he gains these sponsors or gains a different opportunity. Everybody that's been on our show, man, it may not happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen, has been blessed and they prosper, man. So I will say that. Love having you on the show. You're one of the realest dudes that I've ever had on this show, man.
I like the sound of that. We can always use another blessing.
I heard that.
You know,
we'll embrace it.
Absolutely, man. So let's hope that mojo rubs off on me too. You know.
Oh, you are.
Could always use another million.
I heard that. He said another one. I don't know if you had a fine career in, them royalties. The royalties are. Hey, they're still knocking on the door, man. They're still going to your bank account, and very well earned, man, for your creativity. Listen, you're not done living. Before I let you go, I got to at least ask you a boxing question, man. Are you a boxing fan? And if so, who do you follow? Who do you watch get down in the ring?
You're not going to like this, man. I'm actually a MMA guy.
And that's okay. Hey, we do that too. I mean? We do that too.
When I used to watch boxing, one of my favorite boxers was Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Pernell.
Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez.
That's right.
Them dudes back in that last good era.
Yeah.
Felix Trinidad, them type of dudes.
Yep.
Manny Pacquiao and them dudes.
Yep. That's a great era.
I just feel like the sport has lost a little something.
I agree with you. It's all business.
To make a comeback. I am seeing that.
Yeah. It's doing better now.
Some cats out here, two brothers called the Martinez brothers. They starting to wake the game back up for me. And then there's some guys that, Golden Boy has under their roster that are exciting young cats.
Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. That's what I'm saying. And so those are the kind of boxers I followed, and before them, Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns,
Hitman,
Sugar Ray Leonard, and all them dudes, Roberto Duran.
Come on.
And then before them, Ali, Holmes, Frazier, all them dudes.
Yep.
When the mob was running shit.
Yeah. Sonny Liston's story, man. I'll tell you all about that stuff, And I will say this, boxing is a backstabbing, dark business, but you know what, Mello? I love it. I embrace it, and I'm passionate about it because I don't let that negative part of it stop me from what I love to do.
Right on. I ain't mad at you. Like I said earlier, you got to have something that takes you away from it all.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that. That's why I play golf.
I'm going to have to pick that up, just like you said. I want to talk, before I let you go, I want to talk more about your wine. When did you start that? Where can we pick it up at? Where can we follow it? I mean, how do we order it?
The wine, how I started it all was in 2020, New Year's Eve, we got hired, myself and Rodney O, to perform in Napa Valley, which is wine country. Everybody knows Napa Valley if you drink wine, or if you don't. For those that don't, Napa Valley is the mecca of wine country in the state of California. At the end of my show, the promoter came up to me and asked me, well, what do you want to drink to bring in the new year? And I said, I want a bottle of red wine. He kind of laughed at me like, ha, you fucking punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, what's up? And he was like, no. I was just wondering because most guys want Hennessy, Patron, tequila, some strong shit.
Yeah.
And I had to tell him, like, nah, it's because in 2017, I had a heart attack. And so my doctors said I should drink wine.
Yeah.
And the dude is like, dude, you're in Napa Valley. why don't you start your own wine company? And so I did. There's a little bit more to that, but to make a long story nice and short, that's how it started. Now, the pandemic starts during the time I was picking my flavors. And by the time we wrapped up the first, you know, the first batch, thank you, the first batch of them to go out, the pandemic was in full swing. But this thing called curbside pickup all of a sudden became a big thing.
Oh, heck yeah.
And Rasa stepped to the plate.
Yep, that's
did
right.
A curbside pickup and sold out. And I had to reorder, and we sold out, and sold out some more. And to the point now where there's a lot of sweat equity in the company, and people love it when they taste it. They know that the fruits are what we say it is. You know, the company's called Havana Wines. Of course, branding wise, my first album was called Havana, Escape from Havana.
Yeah.
My podcast is called the Havana Lounge Podcast. The wine company is called Havana Wines. And side note, my daughter's name is Havana.
Well, there you are.
But bringing it all
You
together.
you need a cologne called Havana.
I need a cologne.
That's
yes,
right.
I do. You're out there, get at me. If you know a cologne company, let's do my Mellow Man Ace Havana cologne, and let's get it out there.
That's right.
Sure, man.
That's right, man.
It's
That's
a great
right.
idea.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, bringing everything 360 degree with my first album, the classic, iconic album one, and just doing that and kind of refreshes your memory, right?
Yeah.
Into like, oh, wait a minute. Mellow Man. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call here.
Okay.
So that's kind of how the wine company came about. And, you know, I was recently offered on the golf course a large sum, but I feel like from somebody that we know, that you know, I won't say his name here for, you know, logistics or whatever.
Sure.
But I said I could do better than that if I wait and build more, you know, put more sweat equity into it. So that's kind of what we're doing, and I'm still searching for my national distribution deal. But I'm in several restaurants and bars and things of that nature here in the Southern California area. And from time to time, we'll do some wine mixers up north, up in San Jose and Modesto area, and a great guy up there by the name of Tony Vibes spearheads those for me when I come up there and present the wine up in that region. And it's something that, you know, I had to learn about wines, because wines is a lot like marijuana, and the people who smoke marijuana are very particular about what they're smoking.
Yeah.
First and foremost, people don't just grab a joint nowadays and go, yeah, I'm going to fucking smoke it. No. They want to know the strain. Was it indoor? Was it outdoor grown? How many pesticides are in it? All these things, right? What's the strain? All these things. By the same token, so are wine drinkers. They're very particular. Where's your wine from? How do the legs look? When they tip the glass over and they see that sugar run down, what's the aroma? What's the taste? What's the aftertaste? All these things you gotta get to know. And I learned all these things on the playing field, you know. But it's a very expensive endeavor. But I'm glad I took the chance on it. And now we are 2 years strong.
That's right.
For those that want to check it out, the website is havanawines.co. That's my story.
There you go. So we can order it right there. So the fans, the followers, and supporters, because they're gonna say, Richard, where's the wine at? How do we get some? And
or they can just get at me on Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever, you know.
Mellow
Mellow_man_ace.
There you go. I'm going to have to order a bottle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up here on the show and drink it on the
all
show.
4.
All 4 the different flavors, huh?
Get all 4. Yeah.
Then I'm going to have to go to all your shows this summer, too.
Merlot. I started with Merlot, and as we grew, I added Moscato. And then we grew some more, and I added the Cabernet Sauvignon. And then we grew even more, and I was able to add the Pinot Grigio. And everything is named after hip-hop. So the Merlot is the Mellow Merlot. The Cabernet is dedicated to the birth year of the culture of hip-hop, the 1973 Cabernet Sauvignon.
That's right.
And then the Pinot Grigio is called the Padrino Pinot Grigio. So it's all kind of has like a hip hop flavor to it. So then when you taste the flavors, you understand, you know, the time that we took to develop each flavor.
Yeah. Well, you put your heart and soul to it, just like you do your music. I mean, you don't half step anything. And I'm looking forward to your Fresno show. I'm going to make sure I'm up there, and I'm going to link up with you, possibly hook up with you at the hotel area, man. Personally drop off my Fighter's Voice t-shirt with you, man. Take another pic, because I got to find that picture we took in Fresno. That was over a decade ago, man, and compare the two, and, you know, we're still handsome now as we were then, my man. That's real talk.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate the lane today in which to move in and get to know Fresno a little better. Guy, I guarantee you when you come to the concert on June 17th, when you see Mellow Man Ace, you won't be disappointed. I promise you. I promise you. So follow me on IG now and get glimpses of what's going on. That's Mellow with a W _ Ace _ Mellow _ Man _ Ace.
That's right. That's right. And what day is your podcast broadcast? So they make sure they subscribe and watch your show.
Thank you. Yeah, my podcast is 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, Mellow Man Ace TV.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that out too, my man.
On YouTube. And the Twitch is recently started. I want to thank my girlfriend Lily, for telling me about Twitch and the importance. But yeah. So check it out, guys.
Hey, we're all gonna check it out, and I'm smiling because I know I'm gonna have you back on the show soon. I know when you're gonna drop some news, you're gonna say, "Rich, I gotta come on the show, man. Let me drop it on the Fighter's Voice live, man, for all the viewers and the fans." And you know, iron sharpens iron, my man. I appreciate the stories, and I know you got a lot more questions. We're coming in like crazy. I'm sorry, guys, I couldn't get to all of them, but I'll make sure that I do address them. I may send you some of them, Mello. And you can reach out to your supporters and fans yourself. And
get down.
We're gonna
give a shout out.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can give. You know what? You can give 2 or 3 shout outs.
I want to shout out my man Condor. This is a guy who got at me on Instagram and said, "Mello, I believe in the way you rhyme and the way you do things. I want to produce some tracks for you." And he's all those tracks that I mentioned before that I have out, and the one I'm working on with Dana Dane.
Yeah.
My man Condor from San Francisco put all those together. $1, I Ain't No Joke, and Summertime. So I want to give a shout out to my man Condor, and I just want to shout out, you know, the whole world, man. Peace to everybody. If you made it through the tough times recently, I commend you. I salute you, and I appreciate the love that you've given me all these years, man. Thank you.
Hey, you heard it from the man himself, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, the hip-hop legend, Mr. Mellow Man Ace, and you can catch him live in Fresno, California. That's June 17th, Save Mart Center. Tickets are now available. If you haven't got the wine, make sure you grab it, kick back, drop a dime, and rhyme with the mellow one. As always, I'm Richard Ortiz, your host, the only voice that matters, just like Mellow Man Ace, and it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.